A stage is for performing, but a platform is for empowering. Make sure that you're authentic. Make sure that people can feel you. Go the extra mile for people. Go above and beyond for people. People will never remember what it is that you say, but they'll always remember how you made them feel, ladies and gentlemen. When you talk about ambassadors of the kingdom, guys, it's one thing to have success in life. How many guys have an aim to be successful? How many guys have an aim to win big in this lifetime? Type of 777 in the chat, right? I see so many incredible people on this call this morning, but I think more than anything, success is about us, but significance and purpose has to do with what we go out there and do with other people. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're excited about that, type of 777 in the chat box. The biggest thing is this, right? I tell people, if you practice God's principles, you can participate in his promises. And if you can get excited about that message, I want you to tune in with me today, because I'm not just going to break that down. We talk about success principles and God principles, right? We truly believe that they're one and the same. So I'm going to show you guys how to build a massive organization. Now, I want to say this platform is open to people from all different companies. It's open to people from all different platforms. It's open to people, even if you just have an aspiration to win in life and you don't know what it is that you're going to do yet. One of the biggest things you can do is become a leader. And when you're a leader of people, it puts you in a position to impact. When you're a leader of people, it puts you in a position to affect the lives of other people. And again, if we're talking about impact, if we're talking about purpose, if we're talking about helping others, ladies and gentlemen, one of the most important things that you can do for yourself is learn how to build an organization, is learn how to go out there and actually build something strong, right? So I just want to know, I know we've got some different people on this call tonight, but let me ask you guys, because I see Anissa, I see Anthony, Prophetic Pierre, I see you, brother. JP is in the building with us. We got Josh Johnson, I see Sharon, I see Sean, Victoria. I see we got people on here from Nigeria. I see we got Calvin here with us. Shanti Adams is here with us. Guys, we got so many people around the world and across platform to platform. But if you see the value in building a large organization, just type AOTK in the chat box. I'm going to share some slides with y'all. But at the same time that I share the slides with you, I'm also just going to talk to you. I'm also just going to keep it real with you. And I want you to open your mind, right? I don't want you to try and confine what it is that I'm going to tell you today to a particular industry. Don't try to confine it to a particular business. Don't try to confine it to a particular product or service, or even type of product or service. If you learn how to build an organization, ladies and gentlemen, you can use that to change the world for the positive. Okay, but my style, y'all know, is effective, not eternal. I'm not going to be on this call very long. So the best thing that you can do, partner with me, send this out to somebody else. Send this to somebody that you want to see win. Send it to somebody who you want to see succeed. Take a screenshot of the call, right? Send that to somebody. Drop the Zoom link, right? And we're going to get this thing rolling. So first things first, let's get into specific depth, right, on exactly what it is that we're talking about today. Every Saturday we're here, again, ALTK, that's short for Ambassadors of the Kingdom. And we're talking about how to build a massive organization. And to give you what you need to build a massive organization, we're talking about 12 different philosophies. Okay, 12 different philosophies. Somebody type the number 12 if you can hear me, if my audio is clear. Listen, when we talk about 12 philosophies, I would say the first one is this: work ethic. Okay, when you talk about work ethic, ladies and gentlemen, I want to explain something to you. And you guys can screenshot this if you're taking notes. I'm going to switch back and forth from slides just to talking to you. But work ethic, ladies and gentlemen, I have found, and you will find, is one of the biggest things that stops people. Okay, how many guys know somebody that's incredibly talented, ladies and gentlemen, but they just don't put the work in? Okay, how many guys know somebody that's incredibly skillful, right, but they don't apply the work ethic to even reap the benefits of their skill? Okay. It doesn't matter what you're building. It doesn't matter what it is that you're constructing. Work ethic is so important, right? That's the only thing you can really control. That's the only thing that you can really dictate, ladies and gentlemen, is how you show up in the world. Okay. What are you going to put forth? And if you're going to build something strong, I want to tell you the truth. I say it not to scare you, but to prepare you. You're going to have to outwork most everybody, right? So some of you guys, if you've ever built something, if you've ever started towards succeeding at something, can I ask you, have you ever felt like you weren't equipped? Type of AOTK in the chat box. Have you ever felt like maybe you weren't good enough? Maybe this guy over here was a little bit more charismatic. This girl over here, she was a little bit more experienced and seasoned as far as time she had been doing it, right? How many guys have felt unequipped, like maybe you just weren't ready yet, or maybe you weren't the most skilled, maybe you weren't the best? Type of AOTK in the chat box. Guys, listen. One of the best things that you can do for yourself, you can make up in work ethic what you lack in skill, right? You can make up in work ethic what you lack in experience, right? Most people put a little bit of work in when it comes to building any type of organization. But the truth is, you have to put the work in. You got to put the numbers in. You got to go out there and do what it is that you need to do. If you're trying to attract more people into the organization, then you need to be sharing the plan and the vision for that organization more than you're doing most other things. Okay. You got to be consistent. How many guys have ever known anybody to start and stop at something? Type of AOTK in the chat box. How many guys have known someone, even yourself, maybe that shows up and you show up for 2 weeks and you're going hard, going hard, going hard? Okay. How many guys know that person? They're on Instagram every 2 weeks with a new thing, right? It's maybe 2 weeks of grinding, like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. It's going to change my life. Da, 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 da. Okay. Nothing for the next 2 weeks. And now they come back with a new thing and they're saying, oh my gosh, guys, we're running to the top. We're launching to the top. Okay. And they start and they stop. They start and they stop. When I say work ethic, I don't mean work ethic for quick 2-week spurts, for 7-day spurts. That work ethic to build a massive, somebody type the word massive so that we're all on the same page in the chat box. A massive organization is going to be work ethic over an extended period of time. Michelle King, I see you. Welcome, sis. I see Plant-Based Kels is here with us. We got Chris is here with us. Awesome to see y'all. Johnny. You're going to have to work hard over an extended period of time. And I think that's one of the things that stops most people is they work for a season, but can you work over the span of multiple seasons? Can you work for the span over multiple years? Okay. Can you show up again and again and again when nobody else wants to show up? That is what's going to separate you. That's what's going to put you in first place. That's what's going to make people seek out your mentorship. That's what's going to attract people to your organization. But you have to put the work in. I know people that look the best. They sound the best, right? They have all of the influence in the world, but they just don't put the work in. Okay, so number one philosophy, if you want to build a massive organization, if you want your name mentioned with the best of the best, if you want to position yourself as a real leader, okay, you're going to have to work hard, and you're going to have to work hard over an extended period of time. Okay. And most people, they just won't do what it takes. So watch this. If you feel comfortable about your work ethic, if it's comfortable, ladies and gentlemen, you're probably doing something wrong. Why? Because your comfort zone is your broke zone. It should be comfortable. Successful people, they get comfortable being uncomfortable, right? They get used to doing what other people aren't used to doing. Okay, so it should be a stretch. It should make you grow. Sometimes we think life is supposed to be in perfect balance. Whoever told you that, they lied to you. Okay. Whoever told you that life was supposed to be in perfect balance, they lied to you. Malik, I see you. John Harris, I see you. Right? Can I tell you the truth about balance? Somebody type yes, or you can type yes in the chat box. Can I tell you the truth about balance? Ladies and gentlemen, it's not about being in perfect balance. It's not about being in perfect equilibrium. There's nowhere in the rule book it said life was supposed to be like that. If you want to be mentioned with the greats, if you want to go down in history, no, every single person that was great for a season of time, they weren't at all of the birthday parties. Okay? They weren't always at the movie theater with the friends. They weren't at every social gathering. They didn't make it to all of the functions, right? In the cookouts, right? In the club. They had to sacrifice. Why? Because they were working. Right. So you should have people when they ask you, hey man, what you up to? Hey sis, what you up to? You ought to be in such a habit of saying, oh, just working. Oh, working. Oh, just working. They should start to say, you know what? I know I shouldn't even, I should already knew. Right. They should know that that's what you're about. So ladies and gentlemen, type work ethic in the chat box. If philosophy number 1 is clear, I'm going to move forward. Okay. But the first one is going to be your work ethic. The second one, ladies and gentlemen, building a culture that doesn't allow ego to get in the way. Okay, and I'm going to talk about this. If you need to screenshot it again, screenshot it. But I'm going to get into this. I'm just going to talk to you guys about building a culture that doesn't allow ego to get in the way. Okay, when you're building an organization, I want you to understand that pride always comes before the fall. Okay. Ego stands for edging God out, right? So when you're building a team, a true leader, ladies and gentlemen, is not somebody that is concerned with their power. The true power is in empowering other people. That's a great leader, right? If you're building an organization, it shouldn't be built too much on personality. Build it on principle, because people have different personalities. Right? If you're building an organization, ladies and gentlemen, you got to put that thing together so that everybody can find a place where they fit within it. Everybody can find a place where they thrive within it. Okay. Never get too big for the little things. Otherwise, you're going to become too little for the big things. And let me ask you this. How many guys have ever seen a leader, even in the workplace, right? Even if you have a job, and that leader, they just act like they just walk on water, right? They're inaccessible. You can't get next to them. You can't ask them a question. They stick their nose up at people, right? They don't connect with people. They've lost touch with reality. They're not genuine. They're not authentic. How many guys have seen this? Type of 777 in the chat box. Okay. You want to be the kind of leader, ladies and gentlemen, that you're down to earth. I tell people humility is not stupidity and meekness is not weakness. Be the kind of person, right, where you are not egocentric. In the people that you're developing, they don't become egocentric. Develop a community where nobody feels like they're better than the other. Develop a community, right, where the rock stars and the superstars still actually communicate and interact with the people who are on their way. Match people together and give people somebody that they can run with, right? Put people together in pods and in circles where they can grow with one another and people don't become segregated based upon what it is that they've accomplished at that given moment. Guys, let's move forward. Philosophy number 3, okay? To build a massive organization is make sure people know that you're really there for them, okay? Make sure that people really know that you're there for them. Okay. Why is this important, ladies and gentlemen? The reason why is because people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. How many guys have had somebody try to give you some sort of a message? They've tried to sell you something, and you just felt as if they didn't care about you. They only cared about what you could do for them. Okay. You could just tell that they didn't care about you, right? But they only wanted to get something from you, right? How many of you guys have seen when somebody, they don't seem very connected in conversation. They're listening not to understand you. They're listening just to respond to you. They're money hungry, right? Or they're trying to push an agenda. I tell people, fulfill an assignment. Don't push an agenda. Okay. I tell people a stage is for performing, but a platform is for empowering. Okay. So make sure that you're authentic. Make sure that people can feel you. Go the extra mile for people. Go above and beyond for people when you're building a massive organization. People will never remember what it is that you say, but they'll always remember how you made them feel, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Philosophy number 4, make friendship your superpower. Okay. One of the best things that I can tell you guys, it's going to be so vital and so crucial that over the long haul, over an extended period of time, you're building real relationships, right? You're making real friends, right? Because the leaders of the biggest organizations in the world, they just have the most amount of friends, guys. The leaders of the biggest organizations in the world, they're connected with the most people. Okay. Let me tell you why. Because people are so used to, how many guys have ever been spammed? Yes or yes? You've been spammed on Instagram. You got this long block text. Somebody says something super generic to you. Okay. You felt that they were removed from it. Okay. Guys, people will quit on a business. They'll quit on an organization that's just a brand, but they won't quit on a friend. And the best thing that you can do, I was talking with a leader about this the other day. The best thing that you can do is actually create a friendship with people. And when you create a friendship with people, now all of a sudden they feel connected. You know, people, a lot of the times they only want to be friends with somebody if they're making money, if that person's making money for them. And I tell people that's not a real relationship. That's a commissionship. Don't be that person. Be the kind of person that you make friends with other people in other industries, other people in other companies, other people who offer other products. Okay, make friendship your superpower. Be the most genuine. Be the most authentic. Okay. Another thing, rich people don't take vacations, right? Why do I say that? And what do I mean by that? Well, when you're actually living your life on your terms, ladies and gentlemen, you don't need to take weeks off. You don't need weeks to refresh yourself. Okay. Weave your business, weave your organization into your lifestyle, and it feels less like work. Right? How many guys wouldn't mind being on a beach, right? And you're marketing your business on the beach, right? You're taking, how many guys taking phone calls is a lot more enjoyable when you're underneath the sun, in the sand, in a cabana, somewhere tropical? How many guys wouldn't mind working in that environment? How many guys wouldn't mind taking a call in that environment? How many guys might actually enjoy a lifestyle where you get paid to live your lifestyle? How many guys want to get paid to live? Well, when you reach a certain level of success, well, it feels less like work, right? You see, vacation, it's funny, right? It's funny because, you know, sometimes, guys, I like to say that successful people, they have maybe vacations. Maybe I should say it this way, right? But unsuccessful people, they take trips. And why do we call them trips? Because when they come back, they be tripping on how much they spent. Okay. So what's funny about that is when you're traveling, ladies and gentlemen, okay, Sharon thinks that's funny. When you're traveling, ladies and gentlemen, if you put yourself in a position where you're actually creating income that follows the sun, you create repeat income, right? Or even build an organization. That's the beautiful part about building an organization is you get leverage. You earn 1% of 100 people's efforts as opposed to 100% of your own efforts. That's the benefit in building an organization. In addition to that, ladies and gentlemen, I want to move forward. You got to stop allowing people to make you feel guilty. How many guys have ever had somebody, it was a friend, it was a family member, it was somebody that you care about, somebody, and they said to you, you know, they tried to make you feel guilty for wanting to win. They tried to make you feel guilty for wanting to succeed at the massive level, right? Can I tell you guys that that's going to be a part of the process? Can I tell you that's going to be a part of it? You're always going to have haters. You're always going to have critics. You're always going to have people who make you feel like you're working too much. Oh, you're running yourself into the ground. Oh, you need to slow down. Oh, you need to spend some time doing something else. Oh, you need to put your life in more balance. You're always going to have an element of that. Don't take advice from people who don't have what you want. Okay. So again, this philosophy is stop allowing people to make you feel guilty for wanting to actually be successful. Okay. Now, I want to say this: income is not the only measure of success. Let me break this down. Now, some people, they look at somebody building an organization, and if every single person in that organization is not making six figures, if every single person in that organization is not, making just a ton of money, a full-time income, they look at it like failure. That's not true. Some people are succeeding, ladies and gentlemen, when they're personally developing. Some people are succeeding when they're traveling. Some people are succeeding when they're networking and meeting other positive people. Some people are succeeding when they're around other people that are just breathing life into them. Okay. So keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen. That's one of the best things you can do, is not look at money as the only sign of success. It is a good measuring stick. It's not the only measuring stick. Okay. The next philosophy, ladies and gentlemen, philosophy number 8. Okay. Have an abundance mentality. Right? How many of you guys ever met that person that they said, oh, if you don't do what I'm doing, you're not doing anything at all? Right? How many guys met that person and, they alienated you if you weren't doing exactly what they were doing? Okay. I tell people, have an abundance-based mentality. What does abundance mean? It means that there's more than enough, right? And that's in more aspects than one, right? Even if you're leading alongside someone else, don't think that them succeeding takes away from your success. That's not true at all. A candle loses no light by lighting another candle. That's like saying if, two people jump in the Atlantic Ocean at the same time, it's like one of them looking at the other and saying, yo, there's not enough room in here for both of us. Okay, there's more than enough room for everybody to succeed. So when people don't do exactly what it is that you do, even if people are doing what you do, but they're not moving as fast as you're moving, abundance says there's more than enough resources. Abundance says there's more than enough availability. Abundance says we can all win together and no one has to lose for somebody else to win. If that makes sense, type of AOTK in the chat box. Okay. I would love to see more of that in today's day and age, where people think it's my way or the highway. They think this is the only way to win. No, there's multiple ways to win, okay, and support people in however they want to win. That's what abundance says. Guys, treat it like a profession. If you're building any sort of an organization, I want to say this to you. If you treat it like a professional, you can win at a professional level. So your dreams of long-term success, your dreams of wanting to win over an extended period of time, your dreams of getting to the very, very top, it's more than possible for you. But let me tell you how it's going to happen. You're going to have to treat it like a professional. And please don't think I'm talking about any particular one thing. All of you could be probably are from different backgrounds. You are in different things. But whatever you do, if you're not going to do it to the best of your ability, you got to ask yourself the question, is it really worth doing? Is it really worth being a part of if you're not going to do it to the best of your ability? You see, if you looked at a doctor, ladies and gentlemen, and you needed surgery, let me ask you guys, would you want the surgeon who's been doing it and it's their first day on the job? Or would you want the surgeon who's been qualified now for 10 years? 20 years. You guys are going to pick the 20-year surgeon. But let me tell you why that's the case, because you trust that person. That person is what's called qualified. That person is a professional. So the best thing you can do for yourself to set yourself apart, to put yourself in a position to win, is becoming a professional. Okay? Sharon says, I ain't allowing no new surgeon to touch me. Absolutely. Okay, treat it like a profession. You can have long lasting success, but you got to study it. Become a student of the game. You got to become the kind of person that, I mean, you're truly willing to stay up late watching videos. You're willing to turn off some of the music in the car and listen to audios. You got to be willing to get in proximity with people who have what it is that you want, to be able to listen from them, to learn from them. Okay. Treating it like a professional, being the best at what it is that you do, striving to literally be better, ladies and gentlemen, than anyone at what you do, right? That's Mamba mentality, right? You look at Michael Jordan, you look at anybody who was the greatest, they treated what they were doing like a professional, not like a hobby. They wanted to be the best. Okay. Become an artist, ladies and gentlemen. What do I mean become an artist? Well, how many of you guys have seen somebody and, they know a lot of information, but that information does not equate to success? You've seen it? You've seen somebody that they can repeat a lot of rhetoric, but it doesn't translate to their success. They're very knowledgeable. Teachers don't make a lot of money. Instructors and professors are not the highest paid. They don't have the biggest organizations. It's the artists who surpass everyone and go to an entirely new level. What is an artist, ladies and gentlemen? An artist is a person who's skilled at a particular task or occupation. So knowledge, ladies and gentlemen, alone does not make you an artist. It's you using your independent skills. It's you using your personal touch. And you take that and you become an artist. And that's what you become known for. You become known for those individual skills. You become known for those individual and unique things that make you different. Become an artist, ladies and gentlemen. Don't try to be anybody else because that person is taken. You can't be them the way that they can be them, and nobody can be you the way that you can be you. Okay, develop some individuality. Ladies and gentlemen, philosophy number 11. Don't compare yourself to other people. Why do I say don't compare yourself to other people? Well, the problem, ladies and gentlemen, is most of the time we don't do it in a healthy manner. A lot of the time we compare our disadvantages to someone else's advantages, and it'll never be equal. Okay. Comparison is the thief of joy. It's okay to compare yourself to somebody who's winning and say, hey, what do I need to do to get better? But it's not a good thing to have an unhealthy, right, toxic relationship with comparison, where you now believe that everybody is better than you at something, and that's the only thing that you focus on. Okay. Don't compare your disadvantages to their advantages. Right? Don't look at somebody else and say, oh, well, they have this going for them. I don't have that going for me. Don't look at somebody else and say, oh, well, they technically have this that I don't have. Well, if you look at this, then that person, is only there because, they're better than me in this area. That's the worst thing that you can do. And if you do that, it's a trap. Right? You will fall victim to it, and it'll haunt you over and over and over. Right? A lot of people that look at social media these days and they get anxiety. They get frustrated. They get depressed because they're looking at somebody else's lifestyle. They're looking at somebody else's highlight reel, really, and they're comparing their offline struggles to other people's online successes. Okay? They're looking at somebody else's highlight reel, not knowing the behind the scenes. Philosophy number 11 to building a massive organization is going to be don't compare yourself, okay, to other people. And ladies and gentlemen, one of the biggest questions that I get as it pertains to building a massive organization is going to be how, okay, it's going to be how, ladies and gentlemen, to attract leaders. Anybody else want to know the answer to that question? Somebody type the answer in the chat box. Do you want to know the answer? Yes or no? Somebody just let me know. Do you want to know how to really attract big leaders? I'll tell you how to do it. If you really want to attract big leaders, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to need to become a leader yourself. Somebody says, that's it? Yes. And you can't fake it. Leaders know Real recognize real. When you're a real leader, when you're a solid leader, when you are consistent, you attract people that are consistent. When you are hardworking, you attract people that are hardworking. When you are sharp, you attract other people that are sharp. When you are, ladies and gentlemen, the individual who's qualified to lead hundreds of people, you will also attract other people and professionals who are qualified to lead hundreds of people. But you can't cheat the game. Too many of us are trying to finesse, right? We're trying to finesse and we post these Instagram reels and we post these call to actions on our story, and we think we can finesse people into following over an extended period of time, right? That are on a much, much higher level than you. And to be frank with you, that doesn't work, right? If somebody's going to follow you, it's because they believe that they can learn from you. It's because they believe that they can gain value from you. If you don't have enough value to offer somebody, if you don't have anything to add to somebody, if you don't have anything that's going to make somebody better, they will not designate you to be their leader. They will not allow you, right, to be able to have influence over their network. They will not allow you and entrust you to spend the time and invest the time and the resources with you to build that organization alongside you. So if you want to attract strong leaders, you must become a strong leader. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the 12 philosophies of how to build a massive organization. If you got some value, type of AOTK in the chat box. Hey, share this with somebody else. If you're on YouTube, like, comment, share, subscribe, right? Give this to somebody else. We do these calls every single Saturday for free. We go over success principles. We go over God principles. We believe they're one of the same. We're equipping people with the tools to take their life back into their own hands, to take charge and build the most incredible life that God had intended for you. But in order to do that, you got to do your part. In order to do that, you got to show up for yourself. In order to do that, you got to develop and mold yourself. You can't just sit back and wait. Okay. So that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope y'all got some value, right? If you did last time, go ahead and share this out, right, with somebody. Share the recording now, right? But I want to say it's been an incredible pleasure speaking with you guys this morning, and I will see you next Saturday.